Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and welcome live to the Brevard Sports Network, live from Cocoa High School in Richard Dick Blake Stadium for the 19th consecutive Thanksgiving as the Cocoa Tigers are practicing ahead of their regional final matchup tomorrow night in Stark, Florida against the Bradford Tornadoes. Again, happy Thanksgiving to all, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. I am Jackson Robb, bringing you the practice here. Second stream of the morning. The first one was Alan Zlotowski over at O'Galley, as now the Cocoa Tigers taking the field and getting set as I mentioned, 19th straight year they're practicing on Thanksgiving. Quite the record every year of the Ryan Schneider tenure and then some. And, well, as long as any player has been out on this field, senior, junior, freshman, or sophomore, they have practiced on Thanksgiving their entire Cocoa career. And that continues this year after a big-time win last week over Calvary Christian for the Tigers to set up a kickoff classic rematch with the Bradford Tornadoes coming up tomorrow night up in Stark. And, again, you think about November high school football and December high school football. You know, you look at 2A, and if Bradford or Cocoa is not playing, then it's an odd year because in most cases, whether it's a regional final, a state semifinal, or a state championship game, at least one or both of those teams are playing each other. Looking back to 2024, or 2023 rather, Cocoa defeated Bradford for a 2S state championship game. These teams have run up against each other before the state title in the postseason. And as I mentioned, they played this year in the Kickoff Classic as well, right here at Cocoa. The Tigers won that showdown back in the preseason, but that was 3 months ago, and when it comes to high school football, 3 months feels like 10 years for these football teams. Very different looking teams now than they were back in August before the season started. But this time it's going to be for a ticket to the state Final Four to look to make it, if you're the Cocoa Tigers, look to make it a fourth consecutive state championship. After they've won the last three, in 2023 it was in 2022 it was Florida State High, 2023 was Bradford, and 2024 last season was Gadsden County for the Tigers with the state championships. But if you look at Bradford, Cocoa's kind of been their Achilles heel in recent years, and the reason that they haven't had a state title in a little bit. And I know this game, these teams really nowhere near each other in the state of Florida. Stark about 2.5 hours north, up 95. But despite that, these two teams have seen each other enough for this to feel like a rivalry. It has that intensity when these two teams hit the field, and for good reason. Again, you talk about the matchups, the high-stakes matchups they've had in recent years. They played a few years ago in the regional round of the bracket as well, like they are here in the regional finals. And as I mentioned, of course, the state championship a few years ago up in Tallahassee as well. But, again, these two teams have seen each other. They know each other, but the stakes are higher than they've ever been this season now as you see all the Tigers with their position groups getting ready on Thanksgiving. What a great tradition it is, though, seeing teams practice on Thanksgiving ahead of regional finals on Black Friday. And that's what it's going to be tomorrow for two teams in Brevard County, as I mentioned, and as you can see on your screen, the Cocoa Tigers as well as the O'Galley Commodores, who will travel over to Orlando to face the top-seeded team in 3A Region 2, the Bishop Moore, the top seed in that region as well. So both of those teams practicing on Thanksgiving for the second year in a row. Again, for Cocoa, it's 19 years in a row, but either way, in 2024 mirrors 2025, it's O'Galley and Cocoa again. And both teams last year ended up winning their regional final, with O'Galley falling in, I believe, the state Final Four to Miami Northwestern. As for Cocoa, it ended in a ring down at Pitbull Stadium in Miami. And that's the goal yet again for every team, is to end up in the 305 down at Pitbull Stadium at FIU, the host site of the state championships here in 2025, as they were last year. And again, the Tigers out here getting ready. Right in front of you, you're seeing quarterback Champ Smith warming up. His arm, going to need a big night from him tomorrow against Bradford. Always a good defense with the Tornadoes program, and one that's going to be physical, going to be an issue all night, and something that, Cocoa's going to have to be wary of. And, anytime you see a team like Bradford, it's going to be a dogfight. But again, these teams have seen each other, and they know what they're getting into when they square off against one another. But a big thing as well when you look at going up to Bradford and going up to Stark is the home field advantage. I haven't been personally. I'll be there on Friday night with Alan Zlotowski on the call, but I've heard so much about the home field advantage that Bradford does bring. The whole town shows out for these games. A very passionate fan base and one that definitely shows out for the games and got a lot of just effects that they've been able to put on as a home team, especially in the postseason. So that's something Cocoa really can't game plan for. But Bradford's definitely going to have quite the faithful, but I know a lot of the Cocoa faithful as well is making the 2.5-hour drive up north to Bradford. They've been there before. They know what it's like. As again, you're seeing quarterbacks warming up over here, quarterbacks and receivers for Cocoa. You got some kicking down this way. And it was big last week, the blocked point after late in the game last week against Calvary Christian for the Cocoa Tigers to get to the regional final. And in some years it's been easier than others. I think this road may have been the toughest for the Tigers, but their toughest test undoubtedly still to come. But again, a 1-point win in the regional finals, winning on a PAT at the end of that game. And again, but you take a game like that and you're able to come out on top in a game that close that came down to literally a point after, it is something that can really rejuvenate a team and push you ahead, because in theory you've already seen your toughest test at this point to come out and win in a game like that where Calvary Christian kept it close all the way to the end and really tested the Tigers. And I think the fact that they were able to come out on top shows a lot about this team and the resilience and the grit that they have to come out and win a game like that, and especially the way the season started with some early losses that the Tigers haven't been used to in recent years, and not losing to O'Galley in the regular season as well, but they've come back strong and really I think are peaking at the right time. But again, it's going to be one test after another on the gauntlet that is the rest of the schedule. They beat Bradford. There's a good chance they get a rematch with Cardinal Mooney from last year, a team that they did beat. But that took a record performance from Javen Boggs and Brady Hart as well to get it done. So that's going to be a very tough test if they get to that point. And then a state title, goes without saying that that's not going to be easy if they can make it back down south for a chance at their 4th consecutive state title. But it all starts Friday, and get a chance to talk to Coach Schneider and some players later on in the broadcast here, but I can guarantee you they're not overlooking Bradford. They're not worried about Miami right now. They're not worried about a Final Four yet. They're worried about tomorrow night, and as they should be against the Bradford Tornadoes. And that game in the Kickoff Classic was a low-scoring game, a sloppy game to kick off the season, but that's, again, where I point out the fact that was back in August, preseason. A lot of kinks to work out then, and I think both these teams are much better now than they were before the season started. And, again, I think that goes without saying as well, but you do learn some things in that game if you're both these teams. It may not everything may be applicable to this game tomorrow night, but again, you have seen the team on the other side at least once this year with the guys on your roster that you're going to be fielding tomorrow night and the guys on their roster that they're going to be fielding. So there's definitely something to take from that as well. Beyond just film study is watching yourself play this team, and how for Cocoa they were able to win it back in August, and what things are going to be different tomorrow night that they need to key in on here. Again, you're seeing passing drills over here. You got the trenches over here. Offensive line getting some work in right down the sideline here as well. All hands on deck for Cocoa out here today. Good to be back out here at Cocoa here on Thanksgiving Day at practice. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, gets a chance to spend some time with family today. Good to see all the Cocoa coaches and players out here on Thanksgiving. Again, for them, this is a tradition. Again, 19 consecutive seasons that the Tigers have practice on Thanksgiving. Again, to get here for Cocoa, the road started in the first round with Newberry. Moved on to Calvary Christian last round. Bradford is the next matchup on deck. Newberry, they did play at home. Team out of the Gainesville area. Tigers picked up a nice win there to kick off the postseason. See some of the coaches there as well. Coach Ryan Schneider watching on as his team gets all the last loose ends tied up here. Again, the Thanksgiving morning practice. Again, really just tying up loose ends before the game tomorrow. Again, you see the offensive line as well getting some work in. Over here you see offensive coordinator Adam Franco working with the pass game unit here. New quarterback this season, junior champ Smith, leading this unit for the Cocoa Tigers. And again, that's one of the big differences as well from the August showdown between these two teams and the one you're going to see tomorrow night is really the team chemistry with Cocoa. You're working with a very fresh new quarterback back in August with Champ Smith. I'm working on that chemistry with his receivers, and now, again, I think that has peaked as well at this point in the season. I think he's got that ironed out for sure now with those guys, but it's hard. I mean, the transfer era in high school football is about as fresh as it gets, but it's definitely been something that we've seen over the last few years, but Champ coming in this year to lead the Tigers offense under center. And, again, I think he's progressed a lot through this season as well, getting to know these guys. He dealt with some injuries at some point in the season, missed some games as well. But, again, I think this is, the time for him and the rest of this pass-catching unit to work together. I mean, the Tigers the last few years, last 2 years, there's Brady Hart at the helm, now at Texas A&M. Before that, Blake Boda. Before that, Davin Widener. So the Tigers have had some elite quarterback play over the last few years. Again, Champ Smith is a junior, so should have him next year as well. But again, in the offseason, a lot of questions around Cocoa, and again, early in the season with some of the losses that they took. But the fact of the matter is they're back here on Thanksgiving for 19 straight seasons. And again, death, taxes, and Cocoa practicing on Thanksgiving, as Alan would say. Alan will be up here in a little while to join me. But again, practice just getting started here at Cocoa on Thanksgiving Day. One of two teams still playing for a shot at a state title. Again, Cocoa and O'Galley, the two teams to know. Cocoa at Bradford tomorrow. O'Galley is at Bishop Moore. And looking at that O'Galley game, O'Galley has beat Bishop Moore 3 times in the last 3 years. And this one going to be, the biggest showdown between those two teams in a regional final. But, got a chance to listen to Alan interview Chris Sands there for a minute. And, Sands talked about his team and what they've been able to do. It's been some tight matchups with Bishop Moore, but admittedly the Commodores have had the Hornets numbered the last few seasons. We'll see if they can do it again tomorrow night to advance to another state Final Four. But, no doubt about it, for O'Galley, going to be a tough road if they make the Final Four again, because there's no way for them to avoid one of those South Florida juggernauts like they did last year with Miami Northwestern, which is where their road ended to the eventual state champions in Miami Northwestern, then coached by Teddy Bridgewater, who may be slated to start for the Buccaneers this weekend, which is just a funny turn of events if you think about it. That's Coach Schneider gathering his players now on the sideline. Again, great to see everybody out here again on the field. Got a chance to talk to a lot of great people here at Cocoa. Good to be back. Again, hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. And for those on break this week, hope you enjoyed the time off. Crazy to think 2025 nearly over, only about a month left. But that just means more playoff high school football, which I'm never going to complain about that. I got rivalry week in college as well this weekend, which my personal favorite week of the year when it comes to that. Got some big games tomorrow night as well in the college scene. But all eyes on the Space Coast are going to be on Cocoa and O'Galley, undoubtedly, on Black Friday football. As I mentioned, rivalry week in college, but this Cocoa-Bradford game has felt like a rivalry some of the last few times they played. The last time I was out here at a Cocoa practice was back in the fall ahead of the Bradford game, and talking to some players that day, and I think a lot of the conversation was how much they wanted to beat Bradford. And again, Cocoa did back in the fall, but again, this one just carries so much more weight in and of itself. The last one didn't even go on the record. That was a preseason game, but this one more than goes on the record. Your season depends on it. You look at some of these seniors as well, some of the guys that have played all 4 years at both of these schools. Means the world to them. If you're Bradford and you're a senior, haven't really gotten past Cocoa the last 4 years, you're a senior at Cocoa, you've won a state championship every single year you've been in high school. Undoubtedly, you want to keep that streak going as well. So there's so much going on the line for the upperclassmen on both teams, as well as the younger guys and the impact guys that both these teams have that are younger, and some new faces that haven't played in these kind of games yet. I mean, you look at a guy like quarterback Champ Smith. He's a junior, not an underclassman, but someone that's coming in first, regional final with the Cocoa Tigers as a quarterback, and something that he's hoping to get used to over the next 2 seasons. See some familiar face up the sideline. Former Cocoa wide receiver Nikki Teeter over there as well. It's crazy to think 19 consecutive seasons Cocoa has been out here early on Thanksgiving, practicing before a regional final appearance. And again, you look at the senior class I just mentioned for Cocoa, likes of guys like C.J. Hester, Duran Guilford, O'Keefe Battle, and many others on this team. But if you've been at Cocoa for all 4 years of your high school career, you have 3 rings on your hand, and trying to add a 4th. You've always practiced on Thanksgiving, and that goes for the senior class before that, and before that, and before that, and before that, and really for all of time. It feels like for Cocoa, the standard is practicing on Thanksgiving. That's the expectation, and again, they make it there, but. I think it's been fun seeing a few teams join Cocoa on Thanksgiving the last few years. We saw Merritt Island a few years ago go all the way to the state title game. We saw MCC practice on Thanksgiving a few years ago, as well as O'Galley the last 2 years have joined Cocoa on Thanksgiving. So we've seen a group of teams the last few years be able to make it to this point in the season, the regional finals, which means a lot. I mean, that's equivalent to the Elite Eight, so to speak, in March Madness terms. The last 8 teams in your respective classification battling for a chance to go to the state Final Four, which, again, is just one step closer to another state championship appearance. And that's the goal. Every team will tell you preseason that's the goal, state championship, but only few teams can really say that they have a good chance at it. And especially you look at some of the adversity both Cocoa and O'Galley have seen this season. Talked about the injuries Champ Smith has had. He's back and healthy for these games, which is great news. O'Galley's been without their preseason starting quarterback all year. We've seen Xavier Larice play the quarterback position for them as well, which, X-Man has been one heck of an athlete, but I don't think that they expected him to play quarterback this season. Don't think that was in the cards, but Xavier Corbin, Xavier Larice have been, crucial to their success for the Commodores this season, and we're going to see if they can do it again tomorrow night at Bishop Moore, a team, again, that they've beat 3 times in the last 3 years, trying to make it 4 of the last 4 and go back to the state Final Four. But again, that's another game that feels like a Bradford Cocoa's, a Bishop Moore O'Galley, 2 teams that have seen each other each of the last 4 seasons, some in the regular season, some here in the postseason. And if you're Bishop Moore and you're, again, a senior on Bishop Moore, very similar point to be made that you haven't beat O'Galley in your high school career, and this one means more than any of the matchups in the past. So I think that one carries a very similar weight. There's a lot of parallels in the 2 games we're going to see tomorrow night. Both teams traveling from Brevard, Cocoa and O'Galley, and again against teams that they are familiar with one way or another. But again, O'Galley's been able to find their way past Bishop Moore each of the last 3 years. Coco's had their way past Bradford their last 3 meetings as well. So, again, very similar kind of breakdown there, interestingly enough. But, again, every game is different at this point in the season. Any notes you have, anything on paper, you can pretty much get rid of it because the game is not played on paper anytime, but especially not this time of year because there's something about the stakes, the bright lights of Friday night that just get a little brighter as the season goes on, and especially you get here into November, and for both these teams tomorrow, they hope it'll be December as well, that they can keep playing and going ahead for a state title, but it just means more this time of year. And again, that goes without saying, but you're going to see it tomorrow night. Pressure is going to be high. Emotion's going to be high, and it's going to be big to see. And you look at that preseason matchup, as I mentioned, between Cocoa and Bradford, a little sloppy, a low-scoring game, not one I'm used to seeing from those two teams. Bradford had a few turnovers in that game that were costly to them. But the thing is, both these teams have definitely grown and matured as a unit, and that's going to be the thing tomorrow night that I'm most looking forward to seeing is how both of these teams have really grown and developed throughout a season here, and why they're still in the regional final. And Bradford right now practicing on Thanksgiving as well up north. But tomorrow night you'll see why these teams have been practicing on Thanksgiving year over year. Unless they run into one another before the regional finals, which then that's really the only time one of these two teams, Cocoa and Bradford, are not practicing on Thanksgiving. And you see, again, all the Cocoa Tigers on the sideline. On the field, they're running kickoff drills right now. Full field kickoff drills, checking their onside kicks, deep kicks, squib kicks. Again, Thanksgiving Day practice, really about ironing out the little things, making sure everything's tightened up after all the weeks of practice that they've had leading up to this game. Again, you see everybody here lined up, coaches and players alike. But again, for Cocoa, practicing on Thanksgiving, I think if the regular season schedule comes out for the Tigers, coaches and players, it's mark it on their calendar, and especially make sure to circle Thanksgiving, because again, at this point, 19 straight years, you're expecting to be here for Cocoa. So no plans need to be canceled to be out here. Everyone knew that through the trials and tribulations early in the season that they took on. That expectation was still there for the Tigers. As now the practice focus shifting to the punt unit. Hopefully one that the Tigers won't need to use too often tomorrow night, ideally, but again, coming up later on this Thanksgiving practice report, when practice wraps up, get a chance to talk to some coaches and players from Cocoa before we log off here. Get a chance to ask them about some questions about the game tomorrow, but also about Thanksgiving today, because that's what it's all about today. And seeing the punt unit out here for Cocoa now, getting the reps in. The rest of the team waiting and watching from the sideline for now. Alrighty. Get a chance to talk to one of the personnel here for the Cocoa Tigers. First of all, Coach, introduce yourself. Let everybody know your name and your position on the coaching staff.
Coach Spencer, I'm the assistant head coach.
Coach, big for you guys, 19 consecutive years practicing on Thanksgiving. What does that number and that stat mean to you as a coach?
It means a lot, you know. It means that we're a program. You know, a lot of people count us out and stuff like that by being at this point. But you got to believe, no one in the country ever did something like this, so it's a big thing.
Yeah, and I know for you guys at this point at Cocoa, that is the standard. But, you know, talk about the way that this team has battled throughout the season from some of the early losses that you took and how they grew throughout the season to make it back to this point.
Well, that's a good thing because we watch these young men grow up from young boys to men now. You know, they took their lumps in the beginning, and now they're really gelling. We're getting a lot of people back healthy, and the defense is gelling, the offense is doing what they're doing. So it's a real good thing that they get to this point right now.
And you guys got a chance to see Bradford way back in August in the Kickoff Classic, and I know preseason and now feels like it's been forever ago, but did you guys learn anything from from a game like that to go into a game like this? Or, you know, what did that game playing Bradford do for you guys now?
And it shows a lot about our team because we're not the same team that we were when we played back then. So a lot of stuff that we do now, it's going to be very interesting in this game here. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And you look at Cocoa and Bradford, two state, you know, just juggernaut programs at this point, you guys and the Tornadoes. But you guys have seen each other so much over the past few years. And talk about what this matchup means, because it means a little more to play a team that you've seen before at this point in the season.
It's interesting. It's hard to play a team like this. You know, you played them before all this time. A good matchup. And I think much of the points that they ever scored in that game was like 10 points every time we played them. So it's going to be a good matchup.
You talk about the low-scoring nature of these games. How big is your defense going to have to come up tomorrow night for a win?
It's going to really come up big with them. You know, those guys are really, really gelling right now. They're really flying around. So they're going to do a good thing. As long as they stop that ball, we're going to put the points on the board.
On that defense, you have quite a lot of seniors, especially back in the secondary. And those guys, the last 3 years, all they've done is win state championships. So talk about some of the senior leadership on the defense and what they've done for you guys over the last few seasons.
That's big, though, because those guys back there, Keese and Duran and all those guys flying around C.J. Hester, you know, those guys really bring a lot to that defense, and they're really smart guys. So it's going to be really interesting.
And obviously it's Thanksgiving today, Coach. So shifting gears after practice, and if you go up to the table getting some food for Thanksgiving, what's the first thing you're grabbing off the table?
Well, I got to beat my son to the macaroni and cheese because if I wait too long, he'll eat everything on that table.
It's a good one. And as well, I mean, if you had to shout anyone out, anything out, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving, Coach?
I'm thankful to be able to spend time with my family. You know, my kids and stuff here, my grandkids are here. But most of all, it's been with this Cocoa family because they adopted me because I graduated from Merritt Island. So I'm really thankful that they brought me in. I've been here for 12 years. So I really like to say thankful out to the Cocoa family for bringing me in.
Last question for you, Coach, before I let you go here. What do you think is the biggest key tomorrow night to picking up a win and advancing back to the state Final Four?
It's been productive on all three phases of the game. You know, the offense, the defense, and the special team is really going to come up big. Like I said, we got a real good kicker and punter, so that's what we got to do. We got to control that ball and stop them.
Well, thank you, Coach, and happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody out here for the Cocoa Tigers today. As again, out here at Cocoa practice today, as the team's still warming up, it's still practicing out here at Richard Dick Blake Stadium. We'll flip the camera back around here and get a chance to see the field once again.
Sent me to do an interview and told me you can't film these plays because we got some.
Gotcha, Coach.
Stuff.
Here with offensive coordinator Adam Franco for the Cocoa Tigers here.
How tall you are.
A little bit, but it's good to see you again.
How little you're gonna film right now.
Oh, I could bend over, but I'll save it. Coach, 19 straight years on Thanksgiving. What does that number mean to you as a coach for this team?
No, it's just an awesome feeling. You know, I think a lot of people doubted whether or not our team would even make it here. Very young group. You know, one returning starter on offense. You know, 10 new guys that had to figure it out and come together, and they definitely took their lickings early on, and they they had to block out a lot of the noise from the community and the county, and they just kept working really hard, and their natural leaders emerged, and now they're on a roll, you know, and they look great.
Yeah, and with some of those early losses that you took, you know, what does it mean to you to get back to this point with this team and how they've grown throughout this season?
It was a combination of a couple things. Like there was some losses that I would just claim were inexperienced, and then the other losses that we were just too banged up. And when you're young up front, and then those guys get banged up, now you're putting in guys that really don't have the experience yet. And having such a senior-heavy team last year, those kind of hurt us up front. But it was all just, you know, we get so caught up in the regular season. It really doesn't mean anything. If you win your district, you're going to the playoffs. So we just kept thinking to ourselves, these are good learning experiences. These guys are going to get better. And that's what they did. They could have put their head in the sand and threw a pity party, or they could get better, and they just got better.
You guys, new quarterback this season with Champ Smith. Champ was banged up for a few games, but he's come back. And, you know, how big is he going to need to be tomorrow night for you guys to come out and go back to the state Final Four?
Yeah, man, we joke around. We need Charles tomorrow, you know. Charles in charge. Like, I don't need Champ. You can let Champ Smith stay home. I need Charles in charge tomorrow. And that's what he's been. He's been really healthy the last few weeks, and you see the ball come out of his hand way differently. He's seeing the field. You know, we were joking yesterday. You know, Brady was so good at immediately knowing if he had something downfield, and when he didn't, he'd quickly go right to, his check down or to, the shorter route. And that's what Champ's really starting to see. We're not really catching him anymore with a bad decision. So I think he just sees the field now. He's healthy. He's confident in the receivers. And I really like where we are going into this one.
Yeah, and you guys got a chance to see Bradford way back in August, which feels like a millennium ago, against Bradford in the Kickoff Classic. And, were you guys able to learn anything from that game, or is this one a whole different book for this for the regional final?
Yeah, it was great watching that film this week because we were so bad. And it was funny because we knew we were bad in that game, but they didn't know yet that they were bad. And seeing yourself now, all these weeks later, they're like, oh, wow, we were bad. Guys are, and we also figured out really where the right spot was for every guy. Like in that film, like Zay Hawkins is at slot. He's a much better outside guy. You saw last week he catches a post, and splits the safeties and streaks for 60 yards. That's him out there. Like throw him a quick view. He'll make a guy miss in a phone booth. And I think moving Tank inside gave us a bigger blocker and a little more sure hand guy in there. So, we had a right guard at right tackle, and so all those little things we had to kind of move around. But when we watch that film, that's awesome because very rarely you get to see an opponent in a Kickoff Classic and then see them, 13 weeks later and see your actual differences. So I think we got a lot better, and I think we're going to give Bradford everything they want.
Yeah, and this is a team also that you guys have seen in a state championship as recently as a few years ago and in regional finals as well in past. And I said earlier on the broadcast that it'd be weird to not see Cocoa or Bradford or both at this point in the season. So do you guys expect to see a team like this late in the season, and how, the past matchups really brought the intensity of these two teams up?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what ends up happening in the classifications. Like you end up just always getting funneled into these same teams. Like I think we'll play Bradford, and then we'll probably play Cardinal Mooney, and then we'll play a Bowles or a Gibbons. Like so, those same names always kind of come up, and I'm not surprised we're seeing Bradford this year. I mean, once they beat Newberry, we knew that okay, Bradford's better than Newberry this year. They'll be the ones that come out of that area, and so I'm not surprised to see them again.
And it is Thanksgiving morning, Coach. Switch gears over there. When you get to the Thanksgiving meal today and you see all the food on the table, what are you going for first?
Man, I'm really a stuffing guy, but what me and my brother do is we deep fry the turkey, which we pretend is like a 5-hour ordeal. It takes 45 minutes to deep fry turkey, but we say that because we just stand outside away from everybody. Me and him just drink beer all day long, and we're like, yeah, it's brining. There's no response. He just sits there and it soaks. So, that's what I look forward to. And
also, what would you say you're thankful for this year for Thanksgiving?
I think I'm just thankful for the staff we got here. What was that? What did the peanut gallery say back there, Alan? No, I'm just thankful for the staff we got. I mean, we could easily have imploded internally and pointed fingers at each other and been super frustrated at 2-4, and but we didn't. We just, we understand what it takes to be great. We know what it looks like, and we're just going to keep our standard, and we stayed together. And I'm really grateful and thankful that I'm part of this and part of this with these men, because they'll never forget the time that the county wrote them off, and here they were standing on Thanksgiving.
Last question for you, Coach. I'll let you go. Offensively tomorrow night, what's the biggest key to coming out with a win and advancing back to the Final Four?
Just don't turn the ball over. No one can beat us if we don't turn the ball over.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck tomorrow night up in Bradford. Now, joined by joined by a familiar face, Alan Zlotowski.
My man Cyril, well, come on, bro. Come on, we can say Happy Thanksgiving.
How's it going?
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Plug us up.
Yep.
What's up, buddy? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Man, glad you could make it over.
Yeah, me too. Broadcast tomorrow night. Just the audio, but we're gonna do it. All right,
There we go.
I think we're good. I think everybody can still. You might want to have to wrap that around because it's so heavy. I have no idea. I'm driving up with Tom. He's already up there tomorrow. He's 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, I might as well. If I'm
You've
gonna
been
be
there
home
before, Jackson?
I've not.
He's
Okay.
gonna love it.
Let me tell you something. It reminds me, have you ever heard of Millwall Football Club in London? It's like notoriously intimidating place. So there's no track.
Yeah. Oh,
The
really?
bleachers are literally on the field. I was telling these pay attention to calls because they make it almost impossible to hear anything. You know what I mean? We almost lost that a few years ago. You remember Tom?
Tom.
Alan.
Yeah, I do. I was there. Second half kickoff. I think we're good.
So let me get out of this.
Yeah, we're good. Happy Thanksgiving, my man. All right, Jackson. Here we are. A much different circumstance than the last time we were all together, and we got thrown out of practice.
It was the same two teams playing, though.
That's exactly right. It was the same two teams playing. No, we didn't get thrown out of practice, but it certainly felt that way. And I do want to say this. I do believe it was Coach Snyder celebrated a birthday earlier this week, so I don't know how old he is, and I don't want to take a guess because I don't want to get thrown out of another practice. But happy birthday, Coach. That's for sure. So what have you seen here so far today? This is 19 straight years these guys have been doing this here on this field. What have you seen?
Yeah, we've seen some good positional work early, some kickoff, punts. Simple things, as I said, just kind of ironing out the little things today. That's the big key with the game day tomorrow. I got a chance to talk to Coach Spencer and Coach Franco already as well. And,
Coach Spence is great, man.
Definitely. Great to talk to him. And
he's a heart of the program. He just is. Him, Coach Falston, here, let's at least – where's the offense? Because we want to go the opposite way of the offense. We can't get in trouble
I think
if we show the defense.
So I think we're good this way.
Yeah, okay. All right. So tomorrow night, I know the Staples. I saw John Staples watching. You know Shane Staples is watching, right? You know that. I just want to say thanks to Shane because he got me hooked up with the AD up there. And by the way, I haven't put this out on Facebook yet, but you and I, for the first time since Jesus was a baby, I believe, are going to do a broadcast together tomorrow night. Now, while 75% or 99% of it sounds like great news, there is the 1% of it that it's not, and that is that it's audio only. But turn down the NFHS network because, quite honestly, you're not listening to anything anyway, right? And turn up Jackson and Allen. We're going to have fun doing this tomorrow. You're only 30 minutes from Gainesville, right?
Yeah, that's the easier drive for me. It's like going from my house here to Cocoa. So
yeah,
it's
so
my
I was
other house.
just down at O'Galley. They can practice for 35, 40 minutes. They're ready to go. How do you see this one tomorrow night between Cocoa and Bradford? And listen, I think what you're looking at is I think you're looking not offensive, two same offensive identities. But I think what you're looking at are two offenses that followed similar paths this year and struggling.
Yeah, I will say first things first that this game's not going to look anything like the Kickoff Classic.
No.
That's not a point of measurement for this one, but I do think the defenses are going to be huge on both sides, and that's something you see with these matchups all the time. I think Coach Spencer said jokingly, but that every time these teams play, the winning team only has 10 points. So
right.
The defenses are definitely going to be huge in this one, but the home field advantage is going to be big too up in Stark, and that's something Cocoa can't really necessarily practice or account for until you get up there. But, there's going to be some of those factors as well that go into this. But at the end of the day, it's really just what team progressed more over the season. Both teams were sloppy back in August when they saw each other.
September.
But now coming back here in November, trying to play into December, it's going to be who grew more. And you look at Cocoa, a team working with a new quarterback this year in Champ Smith. As I said earlier, in the broadcast here as well, I think that he's playing his best football of the season right now. I think that they are peaking as a team of Cocoa at the right time. So I think from their side of things, the Tigers are at their best point. I think the win and the way they got it last week kind of ups the confidence because if you can survive a fight like that in overtime by just a point, you kind of feel like you can beat anybody after that. So if the Tigers can ride that high, I think they could do it another year.
Are we getting thrown out? Okay. Just checking. So I know. Come on in, Ray. So talking here with us, bringing Ray Kamika. And Ray, I mean, I always say death taxes and Cocoa Tigers on Thanksgiving morning. And, well, here we are again for 19 straight years. But this year, I think more than any, was a year you couldn't take being here for granted. What was the flip switching moment for this team?
I mean, we had a young team. They had to all buy in and just grow throughout the year. I mean, I think the game that switched was Norland. We went down there and we got our butts kicked. You know what I'm saying? So we had to adjust, make changes, and I think we're playing our great type of football that everybody knows is Cocoa football right now.
When I look at Champ Smith's progression, and you're very much a part of this. When I look at Champ Smith's progression this year, Ray, and we're talking to Ray Kamika, 321 Recruits, who does a terrific job. Man, if it weren't for Ray, we wouldn't know who in the hell was where in this county. That's for sure. But he seems to be. Listen, I don't care who you're playing. Either quarterback sees it or he doesn't. He didn't see it early. He's seeing it now, it appears. What do you see as the difference in him?
I think the biggest thing for Champ now is he's healthy. I mean, we never give out health reports. I mean, he's totally healthy now, and he knows their offense, and he's executing. So that's what's great about it.
What do you think about this way? Yeah, because the offense is going to be coming here. So, yeah, there you go. Just show coach. That's always entertaining. So, what do you see in this game tomorrow night? Jackson talked to Coach Spence. He talked to Coach Franco. I mean, it's a punch you in the mouth, mud, trench warfare game every time these two teams get together. The Kickoff Classic was no different. What's it going to take to go up to a place that's historically tough to play and win?
It's a great environment. These young guys are going to have to go up there and ball out, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be won in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line. That's where the game is won. So I think we're prepared, and we're going to do our best and execute.
Keelan Gonzalez, I want to ask you about him. I know you know a lot about foot the ball. Okay, so Keelan is one of the most underrated, under-talked about. When everybody talks about kickers in this county, they're talking about Liam Miller over at Merritt Island, and deservedly so. But Keelan Gonzalez, ice water in this kid's veins. What about him has seen him blossom this year?
There's no doubt about it. No disrespect to them other kickers, but he's the best kicker in the county. You know, probably the state. I mean, he leads 2A in points. He's just when the game is on the line, we know that he'll make that kick.
I want to ask you about this Cocoa Girls Soccer. How's it doing, man? Hey, look, I saw 2-1 at the break. Listen, man, you seem to have a lot of fun with the program. We're going to come broadcast again. I got some soccer games I'm going to fill in. I'm trying to find a good one to come do for Coco. How much fun you having coaching this girls soccer team?
It's great. Them girls, I mean, I've seen them from 7th grade develop, and some of them are juniors now and seniors, so it's all coming together. You know, a lot of girls, when they come to me, they never played soccer before, so I'm teaching them from day one. So they're doing great. I'm proud of them.
That's why I say this man knows football. And today, listen, I've heard mac and cheese so many times I'm about to throw up. And I know you're going to get the turkey. What is your favorite side dish that or either you like to cook or that your wife cooks or somebody cooks? What's your favorite side dish?
Hey, I'm Jamaican, so today we eat some oxtail.
How do you prepare that oxtail?
I don't cook it. I just eat it.
Okay. Look, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start getting into trying some of this food, like oxtail and crazy food, and it's not crazy because you're Jamaican, you eat oxtail. But for me, it's crazy food. I've been watching the Outdoor Boys on YouTube, right? And this guy eats anything. So I'm like, man, if that dude can do it, I can do it. Ray, happy Thanksgiving to you, man. Always a pleasure to talk to Ray Kamika. And, yeah, the Cocoa Tiger offense. We want to be careful not to show them. Again, you know John and Shane are watching, right?
What are you looking for at Thanksgiving food-wise?
My mother's stuffing. I make my mother's stuffing, and I made it last night. It's already done. All you got to do is slip it in the oven for 10 minutes and heat it up, and it's ready to go. And then the turkey. I cook the turkey every year, too. I got to cook the turkey and the stuffing. Maybe that's just, my ex-wives will tell you that's just the controlling aspect of Alan. He ain't giving up anything. And, well, maybe they're right because, like I said, they're both exes, right? So it is what it is. But how about you, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm a big side guy. I would say, the common answer is mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese,
which is
right.
great, but I like stuffing and mashed potatoes, too. I think mashed potatoes are
underrated.
Very
Yes,
good.
they are.
Very good.
Where's well, you said you talked to. I want to talk to Keelan Gonzalez today. Hey, what? What did he say?
You're not filming it.
Oh no, of course not. Never. As long as you let me talk to your kicker. Where's the kicker?
There he is.
Hey, buddy. Tom Bracken. What time are we leaving tomorrow? All right, I'll let you know tonight.
After Miami,
I'm definitely going. Come on up, Keelan. You got to wait? Okay. All right. They're getting ready to bring it in. Okay. What? All right. I always call him Cyril. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, mate. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Everybody here at Cocoa High, all the teachers, admin, everybody else.
How long have you been here now?
I'm in my 12th year, Alan. 12 years. Cocoa High till I die.
I love his accent. Look, you know me, right?
And of course, my lovely wife. She's home. She's actually, I think she's doing a yoga class this morning. Yeah. I can't do that pretzel stuff, mate.
I can't either. I hate talking on the phone. Let me tell you something. I absolutely hate it. You know that, right? This is the only guy on God's green earth that I can literally talk. Every time we talk on the phone, 3 hours. Me and you.
Yeah.
We have a great conversation.
We do. We cover everything.
Yeah, we do. In fact, I think this year, several times, we have completely remade this entire organization here.
Well, yeah.
I'm joking, of course.
Thank God they never followed any of my directions. We wouldn't be here on Thanksgiving, would we? Yeah.
So let me ask you this: where are you from again?
I was born in Ireland,
Uh-huh.
and when I was a young man, because of the troubles up north, we migrated to England, and then we moved back. So I'm a triple immigrant.
All right, so here you go. So the Pilgrims came across the sea this way. Okay, they came from where you're from. All right. So Thanksgiving's not the holiday. What do they call it?
They have a harvest. No, they have a harvest festival, but it's in October. So of course it was Lincoln. I don't want to be too pedantic here, but it was Lincoln that made it official. It was a great holiday. I mean,
What's your favorite dish today?
yeah, you gotta go with the turkey, mate. You gotta go.
White or dark meat guy?
I like the white. Yeah, I do.
Gravy, no gravy?
Little gravy, mashed potatoes. Irish, you have to have mashed potatoes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You can't do
Jackson just said it's the most underrated dish on the
It
planet.
really is mashed potatoes. Good mashed potatoes, not out of a bag. The real ones. You know what I mean?
No, you got to peel on things.
I love the additions of collard greens, mac and cheese. The wife loves the mac and cheese. Yeah, I get into the spirit, mate.
Ray was just telling me about some oxtail. Okay.
We love oxtail soup. Big. You go to any place in England, you'll get oxtail soup.
I don't know about oxtail.
The soup is not bad, mate.
I was telling them I've been watching the Outdoor Boys on YouTube. You got to check this guy out, man. This guy's unbelievable. It's all I'll be talking about on Brevard Sports Network for the next year is the Outdoor Boys.
By the way, before you go, this man made my wife so happy
He's talking about Jackson.
by being a gator. Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, what's it like? What's it been like up there for you, my friend? Thank you, Cyril. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, what's it been like for you up there? First year covering sports in the program, on the radio. I still find it funny to be that your first broadcast assignment was high school playoff volleyball. That was crazy.
Yep.
But I mean, you couldn't have enrolled at a crazier time up there.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're telling me one of my first stories I was chasing was, Billy Napier, and all that happened all back in whatever month that was then, October. But no, it's been fun. I mean, it's a great program up there for sure. So a lot of hands-on stuff. But
What do you enjoy the most about it?
oh man, I think just the aspect of college sports. I mean, I always love high school and all
Yeah.
that comes with it. But I mean, it's a big stage in the SEC. I mean, I'm writing stories about LSU's head coach opening in Florida, and it's actual. I have the access to things and resources and to do that kind
That's
of
a
research
beautiful
and learn.
thing, isn't
It's huge. It's awesome. But chomping at the bit always, though. I'm still trying to do more and more and more.
No
so-
pun intended, right? Chomping at the bit. So let me ask you this. Where does Lane Kiffin go? I mean, listen, right now, if you look, LSU or Florida is not a better job than Ole Miss. Maybe it is 10 years from now, but it's not right now. And it hasn't been over the last 4 years. Neither of those schools have been. So does he stay? Does he go to LSU? Does he go to Florida?
I think at this point in time, I would give him less than a 1% chance of staying because
Yeah.
he would have said it already.
Yeah.
And I think that's been made clear. I think LSU, before the governor got involved, would have been clearly the best job, and I said that.
Governor, that's crazy to me.
But it's so hard because, I mean, the student in me is going to say Florida all the way, of course. There's no other option for him. But
we're looking for Champ. Where's Champ?
still in there, I believe.
We need Champ and Keelan. Hey, give me Champ. All right.
Hold on. Let me tell you.
Hey,
We'll go get Chris here.
put him in the middle.
No,
Right
no,
now, you're on
Come here,
this
Chris.
side.
Come here. All right, guys. As everybody knows, okay, Chris doesn't get any credit, but he snaps every one of those field goals we make, and everyone gives the kicker all the credit.
Hey, let me
Chris
just
snaps that ball.
let me
Okay,
just
guys?
let me just say this:
Chris, I told you.
the snap, the hold, the kick is up. It's good. We say it every broadcast. The art of getting that ball back there. Take me through it.
Well, first, this comes with hand placements. Got to figure out what position works best for you. Next, then it comes about making sure your butt's not too high so the ball won't pivot up.
Right.
Then lastly, it's just about following through with your hands, making sure that you got a strong finish.
Okay. All right. You do the punch too.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference between snapping the ball 6 feet, snapping the ball 16 feet. What is it?
Mainly just my feet placement, making sure it's not too wide for punt snaps.
Hey, Chris, what's your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
Mac and cheese.
Of course it is. Hey, congratulations. I haven't seen one bad snap all year. I don't care what your coaches say. Come on in, Keelan.
I'll let him in.
Yeah, jump in the middle here, bud. Keelan, let me just say this. First of all, congratulations on a great season. So I was talking to a guy that's worked with you before the other day, and I asked him what the biggest difference in you this year was. And his response to me was that it is your daily habits. Talk to me about your daily habits and what's changed with your daily habits to be able to be the best kicker in 2A, and as Coach Ray Kamika said, the best kicker in the state.
I felt like I worked on my body more and like staying healthy, and like after practice I'll go home, I'll stretch, I'll go to the gym and like take an ice bath or be in the sauna, or just like when I wake up I always try and stretch in the morning, make sure like I'm loose and like I'm not tight before practice, or like I'm going into school and I feel like sore. I always like keep my body healthy and try and eat as much good food as I can.
Last week they tried to ice you with a timeout. I said no matter. No, it doesn't matter. You're not icing this kid. There's an art to having the ability to block the noise out, from the timeouts to making high pressure kicks. Where does that come from for you?
I just like whenever I'm going back in my steps, I just don't even think about it. I just look up at the uprights and I'm like, man, I know I'm gonna make this. Like, I just like block out all the noise. Like, I say like I go back and then I don't even hear it because I'm just so locked in and so ready on my snap because I know it's gonna be a good snap and I know it's gonna be a perfect hold. So I don't even hear the noise at all.
I was about to ask a question, but I'm not going to ask it because I don't want you thinking about that question tomorrow night. You never know what creeps in your mind. I'll tell you about it later, but you never know what creeps into your mind at the last minute. I don't want to be the guy that blows that. So today's Thanksgiving. What are you most thankful for today?
Thankful for my family, the culture we have here at Cocoa. Just
What does that culture mean to you?
I think they're all like all brothers, all my family. Like I treat them all like my family, basically. Like if they ever need anything, I'll tell them, ask me. Like if they need something to go tonight, I told them y'all can just tell me. If y'all need food, let me know. I'll come in, of course. So
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Keep up the kicking, man. All right, who we got next? Who we got? Coach Manyfield. I'll tell you what. Get in here. Come on. No, come on in here, man. We ain't talked all year. Yeah, I know. Coach DeMarcus Manyfield. Jackson, you take the first question.
All right, Coach. Big one tomorrow night. Bradford's a team that you guys have seen in the Kickoff Classic. But talked to some coaches earlier, and the recurring theme was defense. You're the defensive coordinator. This is a defensive team at Bradford. How big is the defense going to need to be tomorrow night to get the win?
We have to be spot on. We have to be spot on with all of our assignments. We cannot have 27 missed tackles like we had last week in the fourth quarter due to being tired. Bradford's a great team, right? Great coaching staff. Going to be an amazing environment. I remember going to the Baker County back in the days to go against Coach Mays and those guys back in the day. It's going to be great, right? But defense has got to be locked in. We have a great scheme and a great game plan for it. We just got to be ready to execute.
Coach, what's been the biggest difference between – listen, I mean, I know your offense, and I know you guys never would never say that, but there were times this year earlier in the season where the offense put you guys with the goalpost on the backs of your defensive players. That's changed. What's changed for your unit? Now, I know Cam Scattaboo Jr. got you a little bit last week in the second half, but I think he gets anybody in this state. There are just great ones, and he was a great one last week. Coach, talk to me about what adjustments this defense has made, because it's gotten significantly better.
You know what's funny? I remember back in the day when me used to do interviews, I say when we start the season, we can't be the same team at the start of the season at the end of the season, right? And so yesterday we actually sat down and watched our film of us against Bradford in the Kickoff Classic. And, yeah, we saw us flying around. We saw us making plays like that. But now to realize how many missed assignments we had during that time, and also to see our alignment, how much we've improved on being in the right spots. 50% of the game we know is mental. You got to be in the right spots, right? So to be able to see that we can actually line up correctly and make correct plays, that's the night and day of it. And also the football IQ of the defense, being able to insert more and more things week by week, it's amazing.
You got one?
Yeah, I was going to ask you as well. 19 straight years practicing on Thanksgiving for this program. What does that number mean to you as a coach?
So, as Alan knows, I'm a huge history guy, right? So, to be able to have that streak continue, right? Seeing from where we were at the beginning of the season to where we are now, that is huge. And the kids also realize the tradition and the Cocoa pride, the Tiger pride, and wanting to get to this point, but not just make it here, but able to exceed from here also.
Coach, what are you doing today?
My daughter's making Thanksgiving, so I'll be over there, enjoying some of that.
What are you grabbing first?
Ooh, first thing's going to be some yams.
Do you like the marshmallows on top?
No.
Straight up, yeah.
Straight up yams with the syrup and everything on it. Let's go.
Coach, I ain't seen you all year. It's good to see you, babe.
Good to see you, bud.
Happy Thanksgiving. Come on in. Zone 6. Now, the question is, how are you? Tell everybody who you are, what position you play.
My name is Tay White. I play receiver at Cocoa High.
All right, Tay. Watching this unit this year develop the way that it has, what's been the biggest difference between now and, say, Norland?
I'd just say just communication, just all of us talking as an offense. Like, after that game, we just all came together just like, this ain't Cocoa. Like, offense is successful at Cocoa. So, in order for us to be successful, we got to put up points and score and just move the ball down the field and just be, the bigger team and execute.
Can't take my eyes off the rocks. I love the rocks, man. I see. Look, what people don't know is back in the day, I would try something like that. Now, people be like, "What the hell is he doing?" Go ahead, Jackson.
I was going to ask you, too, tomorrow night, big game, obviously, but from an offensive standpoint, what do you think you guys need to do as a unit to pick up the win?
Just come out and execute. Come out, sloppy. Just come out on that first drive, coming out playing, blocking, making every block, making every catch, reading the field. Just doing everything right. But Bradford a good team, so, we know what's expected. They know what's expected, so we should come out there and just have a good game.
All right, we talk a lot of football. I'm looking at your ink. Tell me about your ink on your arm, because I'm telling you, that's detailed work right there, man. That looks good. Tell me about some of this ink.
Mom name, little Bible verse.
I like it.
And then just kind of like, just a little story.
You got somebody that you trust to do all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So today's Thanksgiving. I know you're thankful for your family. I know you're thankful for your quarterback and catching ball. I get all that. But when you put your head on a pillow tonight, what are you going to be thankful for you? Let's be selfish, okay? Because we're always thankful for everybody else, and I appreciate that. I do, because I know the culture of this program and of you student athletes. But when you put your head on that pillow tonight, what are you going to be thankful for?
Say God. Just because just waking up, giving me the ability to come out here and play this sport, seeing y'all, talk to people like y'all, just giving me the chance to, live, be great, be happy.
That's our blessing. Thank you very much. Tell everybody who you are and what you play in.
Cocoa High, I'm Take White at Cocoa High. I play receiver.
I got one more for you. Just let me get you one more. So, because I'm thinking about him in my head as it's coming along. Tank, as you have progressed this year, right? Like, early on, I think it's fair to say, maybe a little bit of case of the drops. Yeah. How'd you work on that? Because you ain't dropping anything right now.
After, I think, the third week, it was like I'm in a slump. And I was just like, it's all right. I kept seeing, it was another receiver, Ryan Williams. He was, in the same thing. But it was just, every receiver have it. So it's just, I got to just block the outside noise. But I just come out here, 30 minutes before practice, and I have another receiver throw me the ball, and I catch, 100 balls.
Tank. Good luck, man. Appreciate you, man, for sure. Come on in, young man. Take a deep breath, man. It's the first time we got a chance to talk, I believe. All right, first of all, tell everybody who you are and what position you play.
Champ Smith, class of 2027, quarterback at Cocoa High.
All right, Jackson, go ahead and lead it off.
Well, Champ, first practice on Thanksgiving here as a Cocoa quarterback. How has that been for you today, and what are you looking forward to most tomorrow night?
I mean, it's my first ever practice on Thanksgiving.
That's
so,
cool.
Cool, definitely. No, I'm just looking forward to that great environment. Just from what I've heard about Bradford, just being such a good environment. Happy to play there. We played them here. Well coached team. Overall, just a really good team. I think the score was 16-7. Is that what
it wasn't much.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't much. And we got in the red zone. I think maybe 3 or 4 times. Only came out with 16 points. So hopefully we can turn that into 21 or 28 points. So, but I'm just excited for tomorrow and just be in that type of environment.
Champ, every quarterback in this county hates me when they first come on because I'm overly critical because I played the position and I'm just I'm like, man, stop, Alan, stop. It's a different era. They wear face masks now. So here's the thing. What has changed for you? To me, it looks like there's a moment when you're a quarterback when all of a sudden you look, things are going 1,000 miles an hour, and then as the season progresses, everything just slows down and things become your pace. What's changed for you?
I think just at the beginning of the year as a team, I think I really got to, Cocoa, like when summer practices really around, I want to say it was right around July 4th, maybe the week after July 4th was really the first time I was like completely, in summer workouts and stuff. So when you think about that, that's actually about a month before, the first game is. So I think we were just, as a whole, we were just kind of, I wouldn't say inconsistent, but we just weren't on the same page. And
you don't get to throw with your guy.
Exactly. And I think that's at the end of the day, everything it falls on me, and so I'll take responsibility. I'll throw at the end of my game I'll throw 4 picks, but if we win the game, it's a win, and I'm okay with that. So obviously
I
don't
love your moxie.
Yeah.
I get frustrated. I'll say, "Oh my God!" But I love your moxie, champ. I think the thing that every quarterback has to have is that gene in them that says, "I hear you, coach, but I'm gonna take a shot."
No, yeah. That's,
I won't get you in trouble, but I get it.
No, I mean, I think that MI game showed a lot, kind of what we were as a team, because we were out in front the entire game, and then there's no way around it. I threw 4 picks, and that last drive, the missed field goal by MI that gave us a chance to go down, tie it, and then go into overtime. And so I think we just showed what we were as a team there, backs against the wall type of thing, and that was obviously. That was probably one of the most overall intense games, including that Calvary game. Like those are just that's what you live for, and I'll remember that game for the rest of my life.
You say you played against Cam Scattaboo Jr. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that Calvary game and the way that you guys won it that close, what does that do for your confidence as a team to come out, play a tight game like that, but still come out on top?
I mean, I think we showed what we were capable of in the first half, and just what type of team we are in the first half. I mean, we scored on every drive in the first half, and we actually had a chance to score a touchdown every drive, but they called you can watch the film, it was a touchdown, but
it was a touchdown.
It was
it was a touchdown. He got the picture.
And so I mean, but not everything's going to go your way, but we scored every time in that half. And I think that second half, even we were kind of preaching on at halftime, don't let up, don't let up. But that Calvary team, that's a team that is nowhere, like we were the bigger team that night, and there's no question about it. Up front they were really good, and they had that running back, but we were the better team that night, but they just they didn't want to go away.
They're well coached.
Yeah, they're well coached.
As you get set to wrap up here with Champ Smith. Champ, it's been a pleasure talking to you for the first time this year. We'll catch up again before the Final Four in the state championship, because that's what Cocoa does. What's your favorite thing to eat on Thanksgiving, man?
Favorite thing, probably ham, just like some good old honey ham.
My man with the ham. Champ, congratulations on a great year. Impressive the way you fought through from the start to now. It's been a great stretch for you. Good luck tomorrow night. Yep, Champ Smith. Coach Ryan Schneider, come on in. My man, I'm going to let you have the first question. First, let me just say this. Happy belated birthday, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for you, Coach, every year you've been here, you've been out here on Thanksgiving morning, and then a few years before that, the number's 19 years in a row. What does that mean for you as the head coach of this football team?
It shows you what greatness looks like. Cocoa was great before me. It'll be great after me. It's a great community. It's an awesome school that has a strong tradition, and it's an honor to be here.
Coach, the atmosphere you're going into tomorrow night is one of the best in high school football in the state. And I love the environment here, don't get me wrong, but there's no tornado warning signs, and you actually feel like a tornado is going to come blowing through the joint. We were up there a couple of years ago. You guys went up. You got comfortable after you got a nice lead, and then they ran the kickoff back in the second half. Things tightened up. You pulled away. What do you see in this Bradford team this year? That you'll take up there tomorrow night?
They're a great team. They do a great job. The coaches there are excellent. They do multiple different things really well. Going on the road is going to be always a challenge, but even if it wasn't on the road, if it's home game, they're a great team. So it's a challenge, and hopefully, at the end of the game, we're still in it and have a chance to win it.
I got to ask you, Coach. It's been a wild season, to say the very least. Not just here, but everywhere, honestly, in Brevard County high school football this year. And I said this, and I'm going to say it again. I believe that this may have been one of the what you guys did here this year may have been your finest coaching job yet, considering the youth, the injuries, the outside noise, all of it, Coach. How did you and your staff progress through this season to get back to this point?
We just put our heads down and concentrate on the kids, concentrate on doing things the right way. And, the kids never lost faith. They always kept on working. They kept on grinding. And they deserve all the credit. It's there's been multiple times this season we could have easily splintered, broke apart and pretty much call it quits. And the kids never stopped fighting. They never stopped grinding. And they never stopped wanting to work hard, knowing that our goals are still in front of us. So they deserve all the credit.
I know this guy's wanting to get some Thanksgiving dinner. Go ahead, Jackson. I'll give you the next two.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Coach, as well. You saw this team way back in the Kickoff Classic, and seeing that and having that game go the way it did for you guys, do you think is the biggest key tomorrow night to go out and beat them again, this time to go to the state Final Four?
Just execution and turnovers. We have to execute, and we got to make sure we don't turn the ball over, and whoever wins the battle up front. That's football is still football. Everyone has all this cute little stuff with these little prima donna receivers running around. It's the big boys up front that wins the games, and when we start playing better up front, that's when we start having a little bit more success, and I think that'll be the game tomorrow, 2 wins up front.
Yeah, and also you look at, we just talked to Champ Smith, and the way that this offense has progressed throughout the year and they've gelled as they've all gotten healthy and on the same page, and just talk about the offensive unit and how they've grown over the season.
We have one senior in offense, like not even starting offense.
People don't realize that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
The entire offense is one senior. They've grown up, and I'm proud of them. I told the guys, after practicing, how proud I was of the entire team, how much better we've gotten, and how much better they've individually gotten, how they worked and just grinded and listened to coaching and cut out the outside noise and just concentrate on what we're trying to accomplish and it's starting to show off. We got healthy too, thank God. I personally think Champ, might broke his collarbone week 1 and was hiding from us. Him getting healthy. I mean, I think he played 2 games with a cracked collarbone.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's a tough kid, but him getting healthy has shown, has helped us get better. We've gotten healthy in other spots, and then the kids just grew up. The kids grew up, and they trust the process. They trust what they're being coached at, or they trust what we're doing, and you're starting to see the response from that. But at the end of the day, Coco's still Coco. You don't win a state championship. It's a crap season. So they know what the expectations are, and we're looking forward to it.
Favorite thing you're going to reach for today on that plate? I know you tell.
So I had a joke that I was going to say, but I knew this question was coming. I had a joke, but every coach, when I said the joke, like, Coach, you cannot say that. You might get fired if you say that. So if you know, you know, but I'm not going to say it. It's going to be, the stuffing's always unbelievable. But the sweet potatoes, it's all of it today. All of it. I just can't wait. My parents are getting older, and just to have another Thanksgiving with them and with the family. Yep. I'm looking forward to just sitting there and not even the food. I'm looking forward to sitting there on the couch watching some football with my dad and my mom and this. Yeah, talking. Are the Ravens playing? All right, no, yeah. That's the thing. You just coach them. I have no idea what's going on in the NFL, and yeah, just being with the family. That's all I'm really looking forward to. Is just being with the family and enjoying the day, and can't wait to wake up tomorrow and feel like a champion.
Death, taxes, and the Cocoa Tigers practicing on Thanksgiving. Coach Ryan Schneider, thank you, man. Have a good one. We're gonna wrap it up from here, and Tom Bracken, I can't thank him enough. What's your takeaway from here, talking to the guys, and I can't wait to hear this joke.
Yeah.
But what's your final thought?
Yeah, I think you can tell these guys have been here before. You can tell
Mhm.
there's a standard. As I said earlier, I think when the schedule comes out for the players and the coaches, they'll circle all their games and then star 3 times, circle Thanksgiving. They're going to be here. And you can tell they've been here. But this team, Bradford wants to beat Cocoa. They've been trying. They've lost the state championship to this team, the black and orange, and they're going to get another shot at them. We did.
But lost the regional final there a couple of years ago, yeah.
So, yeah, it means more for Bradford for sure, but Coco's been here before, and I think just talking to everybody here, they know that. Even the new guys know the standard, that, the Tiger pride really does shine through.
Interestingly enough, both Brevard County teams go into their matchups tomorrow night. Since 2022, O'Galley's 3-0 against Bishop Moore. Since 2022, Cocoa is 2-0 against Bradford. Jackson did a hell of a job, And Jackson's going to be joining me tomorrow night on that broadcast, so don't miss it. Yes, it's audio only. I know it, but nobody can bring it to life like Jackson can. With me doing some play-by-play, but mostly color tomorrow night. And I appreciate both head coaches, both Chris Sands and Ryan Schneider, allowing us to come to practice. So for Jackson Robb, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Please have a safe and healthy and happy Thanksgiving. I don't care about the first two games today, but go Ravens is all I'm going to say. Go Ravens and Tigers.